Wassail Beautiful People. So, it's a very odd energy today. It's like a kind of a nothing moment. That moment of waiting for Mercury and Jupiter to slow down and switch direction. Although I will say, Wassail Penelope, Wassail Twitty. I was just sitting over there. I've been going through thought processes for this. Wassail Christina, Wassail Aleister, and Wassail Queen Star Sophia. And I thought I'd have a cup of tea just to lubricate me. I didn't have my glasses on, and I was suddenly drawn to a tree just here. Actually, this tree here, the one with the 3 white stalks, and you'll never guess what appeared. The hummingbird. Whoa! I was thinking, what might come through these clouds of unknowing? And the hummingbird appeared. It only brought in a very brief appearance. It was a very dark one. It was very tiny, but it didn't vibrate in my anticipated way. But to me, it says, as long as the rain doesn't get us, that we might get some very magical messages. I know, hummingbird. Round of applause for the hummingbird. I think I might just pull that down a bit. That's a bit better. So, I'm not really sure what we're doing because I feel as though we need to just explore the unknown. I'm up a mountain. I'm 2,200 meters high, and it's in the energy of the Cloud of Unknowing. So what is the Cloud of Unknowing? It's kind of that mysterious shroud that you can't see through properly. It's been sunny all morning. So what I thought we would do was we would go through each of the 6 clouds, and we're going to look at the energy that's in the unknowing that's going to work with you right through to the 1st of January, 2022. So what's coming out of the Cloud of Unknowing for you until the end of the year? I feel like it's Tutti, your spirit animal is a hummingbird. I suspect it might be my other spirit animal other than the fly, because they're all about very fast moving wings. But this hummingbird stopped in this tree, and then it went over and it poked its head up a little yellow leaf flower, and then it went. But it was miniature, and I was just completely charmed by its presence. So it's beautiful. We've had the first hummingbird. I'm hoping by leaving this tree just behind us, it might just return if we're very quiet, which is not going to happen. I mean, me being quiet. So there is a sense of autumn today. A lot of leaves falling. Also, just after the hummingbird, I saw a salamander. They're all energies of magical transformation. So I thought before we begin, I would just ask, what's the general energy behind the Cloud of Unknowing before we pick? So you get to have a little look at the images. I don't have them here because when I hold it up, I mean, the point of the Cloud of the Unknowing is, in a way, seeing the cloud and knowing what the cloud is not necessarily going to help to reveal what's behind the cloud. It's just a chance to give us a place to pick 6 different energies. Wassail Sigrid. I'm sorry that I haven't said hello to everyone. Wassail Cosmic Womb Collective. So let's just, I'm going to pull that down a little bit more. Oh, I like that little, look, we've got sigil in the, going back, coming down and across. Slightly in reverse. But maybe it's about life force being hidden within the cloud of unknowing. I'm hoping I've positioned this so that when the sun comes out, the computer stays in the shade and I get illuminated. So it's a very strange day today, energetically. There's a sense energetically of a kind of no energy almost. And yet in that no energy, a hummingbird came. So it's a space of surprise, I guess. So could we just have a general energy? It's saying turn the cards up the right way. Can we just have a general energy that's leading us towards the end of this year? There we go. What have we got? The mystical shaman. Mystical deep energies. He's sucking in the cloud of unknowing. So it's really talking about how it's like Sedir magic. We're going to see 6 different Sedir magic scenarios of energies that the cosmos has planned that it can deliver to you. And it's how well do you want to draw those energies towards you? How well do you want to suck it up and make it part of your world? Because Sedir magic is to see a prophecy and say, yeah, I want that prophecy. And that's how we draw things to us. So let's give Neptune his bells. The sound waves are riding, and then suddenly they take a completely different shape, and then they go back down to the next rhythm. There's something deeply transformative in that sound. So let's just get one Odin to go with the mystical shaman now that we've heard the bells, and then we'll start the clouds. So, Wassail Eve. Wassail Eve. So it's Skadi. Skadi is mountain goddess. She lives in the clouds, and Skadi is a character who is wounded, and she wakes up to the wounds, and she moves forwards. She has a self-empowerment moment, and she changes her frequency. So up in the clouds, changing our frequency, readdressing our internal compass, and then Madur. Now, I keep seeing this at the moment as passing through an old energy and into a new, up there, a Dej frequency, high up the mountain in the clouds, and then bringing that energy down and into the earth. So it's like an outer body experience, and that's very much that sense of this ring fence, because Mars is still really not at the party. So let's start with number 1, and this begins at 9 minutes 31. So did you pick cloud number 1? I can't see a thing now. Might have to move back a little bit. Just that's a bit better. I still can't see the screen anymore. Maybe I can turn the screen up. No, it's on full. Right, well, it's nice and sunny now. It sounds like the problem is I can't read what you're writing now. Let me put my book over it. So I'm going to try and keep up with what you're reading, but there's such glare. Maybe I can go back a little bit more. Pause a moment. It feels like the shadows moved. That's the problem. So look, we're going to have to move entirely, people. Enjoy the bells from the cathedral or basilica. That's better. Oh yeah, I can see now. Now you can't see me. Let's come back a bit. It's very difficult. I'm on the lawn. That's better. I hope you're all talking among yourselves very nicely. So let's do that timestamp again, because no one wants to watch me move. 11:30. So, did you pick cloud number 1? So, I'm going to begin these with 2 planets, because we're looking at the energies that you've selected that you're working with as this year moves on. And I feel like you need to know which 2 planets are working with you, and we'll look at their movements if they're relevant until the end of this year. So here we go, top and bottom. So if you picked one, you're working with Gaia, Uranus, and Mercury. Now that's really interesting. So Mercury is going to be very, very, very zippy. So Mercury is at the moment, today, 10 degrees of Libra. But by the 6th of November, Mercury will shift into Scorpio. And then by the 25th of November, Mercury is going to have shifted again into Sagittarius. And then by the and then on the 14th of December, we'll shift into Capricorn. And then by the 1st, it will be at 15 degrees of Capricorn. So I would suggest that the energy coming in for you is a very rapid transition of truths, but they're cosmic truths, because you're dealing with Gaia, and Gaia Uranus is at 13 degrees of Taurus and will have moved, because it's still retro all the way through this period, to 10 degrees. So you're ending up on 1510 or 1015. So I'm going to ask for a card for each of those. Yes. Let's hope they're... Oh, I've got too many cards. I really want 1 for each. I'm not going to accept 3. So let's see what we get for Uranus. Oi! There's a spillage at the floor. Can we please have 1 card for Gaia Uranus and 1 card for Mercury? Mercury, remember, is just about to come out of being retrograde. Tomorrow and the next couple of days, it will change direction and start. They're a bit lively. I'm going to give Mercury 2 just because Mercury is going through so many signs. Ooh. Oi! Did you pick number 1? So the energy of Gaia, time. Time is going to have a different essence. It's interdimensionality, really. It's shifting. There's something very much because of this pink energy that I'm getting. It's picking up across the shoulders, and it's talking about a kind of a cleansing expansion within Jupiter. I know Jupiter's not been picked, but Jupiter and Mercury are coming out together. They're having a coming out party. Now, on Mercury, we have a really powerful energy, 1119. It's the council, the elven ring frequency, and the fire. It's like a kind of initiation by fire. It feels like the intensity of it begins when Mercury hits Sagittarius. Mercury hits Sagittarius on the 25th of November. So right in the middle of the eclipse tunnel. So let's just have a little look at what you're saying. Need to just put a bit of a shade over to have a little look at you all. Yeah, there's a lot of very palpable energy. Mercury is frisky. Yeah, I know. I really think Mercury is. Yeah, very strong transformation. But I want to say that this transformation will be a whole series of very zippy leaping in and out of dimensions. So let's have Raw Runes. Don't forget, in the description box, there's a link and you can print these runes for yourself and have a go at playing with them. They're still in development, so things will change, but there's 2 versions. There's one version where the runes are all drawn, and there's another version where the runes are blank and you can draw them yourself, which helps you to put store memory of energetic movement on them. So what's the general direction of this energy frequency? What's the general direction of this energy frequency as cloud number 1's unknowing? What's in the unknowing? It's interdimensionality is in the unknowing, and the elven ring. This is really high frequency energy. We have 1 card. We have the personal Yggdrasil tree, ash. From the ashes, I'm hearing. From the ashes grows something new. So this is really transformative energy. We are moving from Libra season into Scorpio very soon, and then into this Sagittarius fire initiation of the eclipse season. So there we go. So it's about a period of exploring yourself, Raza. You have to explore yourself. It's a lot of dog barking. And then they stopped. There's a lot of exploring yourself. And then there's a frequency at the end, 33, speared potential, Gar. And this is that energy of interdimensionality. You have to look within yourself to see what potentials lie within the different dimensions, moving forwards, hopping into different frequencies. All right, how do you do that? So what you need to do when you go to sleep at night, you need to tell yourself, I've worked out that these things that I see in the world around me, this Sadir magic that we're talking about, the Elven ring and the Time Master are giving you this option to hop and change dimensions. So you work out what you would like to see changed in the morning. And then you go to sleep, your consciousness enters the astral realm, the Elven Ring and the Time Master are there, and they will help you to place your energy in a new divine spark, a dimensional shift. Now, the thing about these dimensional shifts, there's multiple dimensions. But every time you go to sleep and you ask the Elven Ring and the Time Master to work with you to move you to a better frequency, a happier, a calmer, a more beautiful frequency, you have to be aware that all the people around you that you love, they can't go through the astral doorway with you. You can only go through that doorway alone, but they will still be in the new dimension. It's not that you wake up in another dimension and everyone's gone. They're all part of a relative shift, because when you move through these personal Yggdrasil doorways, it's very minor shifting. You're working very much, but I'm being given this idea that you can do this every night. Find something you want to change about your life and move into the next dimension to get you nearer to that pathway. So I need to take my glasses off to read. Wassail Balanced in Australia. Wassail Rachel. Wassail P. Monroe. Wassail Andy Sings. So, dimensional shifting and hopping. Let's have a little look at the energy of Odin in with this frequency to do with this interdimensional hopping on the astral. I'm not saying that every time you go to sleep you're going to be consciously aware, but there will be things that shift. So, for instance, the front door of this house that I'm staying in, it had no door handle on the outside, and when you go out you kind of want to pull something to lock the door. I'm very, very observant, and 3 days into staying here there was a door handle that wasn't there before. And it's just like when I keep going to the shops that were there one day are not there the next day. It's like they've moved. There's something very, very dimensionally shifty going on all around us at the moment. That's interesting. That was like a very quick, fast. This is smelting. Tyr is about smelting. I'm being shown this center part as a code, an astral code, and it's moving from one sword to the next and one truth to the next truth, but it's melting down. It's this fire energy. It's moving through the frequencies. And then we have two others. This is a card of being protected. You're being gifted with the energy of the Time Master and the Elven Ring. This is being protected in the spaces between the dimensions. And you're being given the card, which I said earlier, was part of the original card. You're being given that chance to move through personal Yggdrasil portals to new dimensional spaces. This is Dej, or Dagaz, but I say Dej. And this is to pass through personal Eye of the Needles. Micro shifting is what's going on if you picked cloud number 1. So let's just pull in. Oh, pulled my beard. Let's just pull in the Motherpeace. Let's just give it a rifle. There is one on my lap which I'm going to keep. I can't see it. It's facing down. Yeah, look, this is the Two of Swords. This is about drawing personal magical, crafting personal magic. This is bringing your energy, your self-empowerment into each reality as you shift. They're showing me something about the cosmic rivers, and they're being stepping stones across the pond of time, is what I'm being told. So you have this river behind. The next card is moving up the river of time, but they're showing me this as that sense of the Eloah's protection. An interesting thing to observe about this is you can't rush, you can't have impatience. If you rush towards the energies, if you try and push too hard towards the energies rather than doing micro steps, micro shifts, the elk will bite you, and then you'll find yourself back in the dimension you're in. So there's something about remaining quite calm. And then we have the Shaman of Cups. I've never seen this card. It feels very much like the frequency of Mary the Jewess. It's very much alchemy taking place. You move up the river of time, and then in the astral realm, it's almost like you're collecting magical water from the Akashic seas, from the cosmic ocean, and you're placing it into a cauldron each night, and that's the fire below, the smelting. You've got to smelt away, steam off almost the energies that you no longer wish to carry into the new dimensional hopping, the new portal that you're sliding into. And then you have the Eight of Wands. It's not that they're saying that there's 8 chances, it's that they're saying there's kind of 8 weeks of this to come. And so again, it's this notion, because this card is about speed, and yet what I'm being told right now with this card is it's not about speed. They're micro shifts. Yes, Mercury's moving very, very fast, but there's something about that warping of time that it's all being opened for you. You've got that Dej frequency, you've got the protection, the Time Master and the Council are here, the Elven Ring, but they're saying to you, it's like being given a series of magical wishes, like you've rubbed on a magic lamp and you're being given, 8 chances. It's not necessarily 8, but what I mean is they're willing you to make good choices, but you have to work out by looking philosophically at what you feel. And this is not just on a personal level, because you've kind of got to try and fix your own global perspective to shift through. You can't, if you shift through purely on a personal level, you're misfiring and you're only going to move in the corridor and still keep being in the same world. You've somehow got to, with each personal wish, you've got to make a community correction. That's really interesting. So, what are you all saying? I'll take my glasses off to have a little read. More on Mary the Jewess. Yeah, I will. She's worth Googling. Mary the Jewess was the first alchemist. She wasn't just the first female alchemist, she was the first alchemist. And she's believed to, she was in Egypt, she was Jewish. She invented the bain-marie, which is named after her, that they still use. She invented a lot of instruments that are used in modern science still. And she's believed to be the only person who could truly transform anything into anything else. She understood the esoteric magic, and I think much of her knowledge burnt with the library in Alexandria. So she's a fascinating character. There's also, when I first started looking into her, there was very little information about her. And actually, in that same way that you move through portals, when I first read about her, she was actually from Macedonia. And then one day she wasn't. So again, it's her showing that energy of transformative alchemy. Anyway, there she is. Ah, do you know what? Because you've called her out, I'm going to do a Patrick, and I'm going to look for her in this deck, because this is the deck that originally made me know that Temperance was Mary the Jewess. So let's see what she's between in this little mini deck. See, patience, temperance. Right here she's. Oh, you see now, that's fabulous. So let's put her down. Here she is. She's an incredible frequency. And what is she in between? She's in between the Hierophant and the Prince of Discs. Spiritual epiphany will arrive, but you must be patient. And it's covering all four corners of the world. It's covering all elements. It's the key to moving forwards. And you can see Isis at the base of this card holding the Sword of Truth and the moon. So there's no molecular spiritual epiphany, which is what these are talking about, without the consciousness. So the physical shift in realms only happens when you balance the two. And she's all about balance. And this card is, look at all the pearls of wisdom hidden behind this card. And the slow, energetic movement. Oh, look, there you go. Gaia's in Taurus, Uranus is in Taurus. And we have the bull pulling this chariot. It's like racing, but slow. It's giving me this energy all the time of moving, that's guaranteed, but having to take your time. Why are they drawing me to the top of the head? There's a winged bull on the top. So it's like your thoughts must take flight in the astral to return you each morning to the physical world with all these pearls of wisdom all lined up. They're showing me it like, I don't know the name of that game, in I think Japan, where lots of ball bearings all bounce around. It's like you put one of your coins in, you go to sleep at night, and then in the morning you cash in on some kind of dimensional hop. Okay, so that's what's coming through the Cloud of Unknowing for number one. So now let's pop all these cards back. Because I'm going to allow the chance for cards to return. Because there's very much a sense of collective energies. I was going to go and do 12 zodiac signs, but there's something about too many of us focus too much only on our sun sign, and we're not allowing our truth to be told, and we're being stuck slightly rigidly in sun sign stereotyping. And that's why I was guided to do this Cloud of Unknowing, because it allows you and your spirit team to tune into your choice and pick the direction that you need to learn about. So let's add a timestamp. Actually, just have a little look at what you're up to. Oh, Eve's such an angel. She keeps you all totally energized. Look, I'm just going to be really naughty, and I'm going to make Ariel a moderator so that there's more than one of you. Sorry, Ariel, if that's stress. You don't get a choice. So, did you pick cloud number 2? And that's coming in at 3544. Okay, I just need to scrub out that one. So, did you pick the Cloud of Unknowing number 2? So, let's go to the planets and let's see which 2 planets you're working with to the end of the year. Oh, good. Thanks, Ariel. Ariel, sorry. It's Ariel. It's like REM, but it's REL. It's a different form of REM sleep. It's REL sleep. Right, so let's see what 2 planets you're working with, people. What's at the bottom? Pluto. And what's at the top? Jupiter. Now, that's really interesting. So, G to G. And then, no, yeah, let's go C sharp, D sharp. Yeah, I think this is the devil's interval. So you're working with a really tricky energy, but it's a really deeply expansive, cleansing energy, but it feels a little bit cheeky. So let's just tell you where they are. So Jupiter is right at the moment at 22 degrees of Aquarius, and it is retrograde until it goes stationary prograde tomorrow. And then by the end of the year, Jupiter will be at 0 degrees in Pisces. So Jupiter is coming home. So there's something about coming home to some kind of energy of yourself. It actually reaches a 0 degree point on the 29th of December. But there's definitely this energy of the spine being the frequency that holds everything upright. It's also Pluto, so it's death and rebirth frequency. And Pluto is at the moment at 24 degrees of Capricorn. And because it's such a slow mover, it will have just reached 25 degrees. So there's something about a single step that's a giant leap home in that energy. So let's get, for our number 2s, let's get a card. The sun's really warm. It's beautiful. I hope you're all having fun chatting among yourselves. I still can't see properly. So, yes, Persephone is a really interesting frequency. Persephone is also linked very much to Ceres. And Ceres, at the moment, has just gone retrograde. And Ceres at the moment is being locked out, but will be let back in to the frequencies as Jupiter and Mercury drop out of the fencing that's going on. There's some very beautiful sculptures. I can't think who it's by. Bellini, I think, possibly. And it's Pluto and Proserpina. Beautiful statues. So, can we please have an energy for Pluto? Pluto's holding everything in place. It's a Middle Earth. Pluto's it's like a fixture. It's like It's 3 and 6, which is part of the frequency of reality, part of the frequency in the Tesla code that is often seen as a trap. And it's like Pluto is trying very hard at the moment, I guess, to hide your shadows from you, is what I'm saying. It's trying to get you to focus on this out-of-body experience that only Pluto can take you. Yeah, Pluto's realm is the underworld, and yet the energy I'm getting from this is that Pluto is pulling you out. Maybe it's when Persephone returns. So what do we have for Jupiter? What do we have for Jupiter, please? There was a crunchy crackle with that one. Retuning yourself, 15 degrees, 15, card 15. It's the drum. It's the beat. It's a new rhythm. This new step, this single step that you're making to rebirth yourself. It's a 366 is what I'm getting. So there's something expansive that's to do with the spirit realm, but it's like spirits not here physically to help you on this one. This is a very personal journey that Pluto's elevating you to a spiritual heavenly level, and Jupiter's just expanding that energy and making everything grow. Do you know what? I see Enough is Enough, and it just makes me think of Barbra Streisand and Donna Summer. I always dreamed I'd find the perfect lover. Ooh. So it's raining, it's pouring. My love life is boring me to tears after all these years. So I need to put a different energy on these. The runes. Have a little sip of water. Enough is enough is enough. I can't go on. There is a bit of that energy to this. Feeling like you can't go on, and yet it's only one step. You've only got to take one more step, and it's a huge step. So what's coming through this cloud of unknowing, please, with Pluto and Jupiter? Right, we have 4. Ooh, look, Raza has come out again. But we're actually beginning with it's time to turn dark. What it's actually saying is it's Nate. And it's talking about the frequency that's the assumption of the need to explore your shadows. But that's not what I'm getting here. I'm getting the sense that your shadows are a very old story that's anchored in, that you've done this energy, because I've got Flursa and I've got the mortar, the calc. But this is slightly different to the one before because it has the additional line, but it's talking about opening 2 pathways, 2 portals, the beginning and the end of the solstice tunnel. So if you picked number 2, you need to kind of wait until the eclipse tunnel. It's like the energy. Let me just see. I just need to check something. Yeah, Jupiter is moving through Aquarius. So there's this sense of the homeward energy. There's an expansion within your heart, they're showing me, of an ancient story. This being protected and moving through. So these 2 halves are an old ancestral energy very deeply Plutonian. Wassail Beautiful, very Plutonian, this energy that took you into a darkness that's now going to transform that. You've explored. It's now time to see how this old ancestral energy has colored your existence. And then we're going to move this energy through to split open the frequency into two spaces of potential, to be given the gift frequency of gift coming in. Calc is also I like a small shoe, a step. It's just saying there's this one new step to change the rhythm of your whole life. I'm seeing a whole series of circles. So let's get an Odin on it. There's something cleansing. There's a massive cleansing, but you can't make the cleansing until you reach the lunar eclipse. Oh, turn dark. It begins on the 19th of November. And in a 2-week period, you will explore yourself and anchor in this new cleansed energy. That's lovely. So I'm just going to ask directly, what are you doing in the eclipse tunnel? A cleansing, obviously, but what are you doing in the eclipse tunnel? You know, I want to kind of say, have some time off. It's, you know, it's not until the 19th. You've got almost a month. What's happening in this cloud of unknowing for people that pick number 2? Oof. Asgard and Thor. It's like you need to remain in 12th frequency, in the energy of Asgard heaven. Asgard heaven is old heaven. This is structures that we know and we love. These are structures that give us great comfort. This is the energy of security. And then when you reach the eclipse tunnel, it's like you're just going to start smashing up everything that you've known and hold, because you know it's time to build an entire new heaven. That's why your heaven is the focus. Pluto is bringing you up so that you can create a brand new tune, a new heaven, a new energy, a new connection to spirit, but it comes in this tunnel. Yeah, Thor's here, Twitty. Did you pick this one, Twitty? Because all I'm seeing is this. It's like this is made of Lego. You just need to bust all the Lego up, put all the pieces down, and build a new heaven. I'm going to ask for one more card on that from this deck first. What's at the end? That's all the hammer's in the tunnel. What's at the other end? What's at the other end of the tunnel when you come out on the solar eclipse? A renewed person. This card came out before. Scardy. The wounded being healed. And coming into a truth, plugging into a new truth is part of this frequency. And look, she holds a bow and arrow. It's Sagittarius season. There's no more slipping. She's the goddess of the snowshoes. She knows how to walk on all slippery surfaces. She's up in that mountain, reaching into the cloud of unknowing. In my drawing that I have of the Yggdrasil tree, there's Asgard, that's up here, Vanahamir and Elfamir, the three heavenly realms. And then there's Midgard in the trunk, and then Muspelhamir and Niflhamir, the fire and the ice either side. And then down in the roots, we have the three dark zones. Svartalhamir, Weirdhamir, as I call it, and it'll come back to me. I've lost it for the moment because I slightly renamed them, but they're all below. So you're readjusting your truths, but it's like you're readjusting your heavenly truths, and it's like photosynthesis. It's the light of heaven that feeds down the trunk and into the roots, because most of the time we talk about the nutrients from the roots coming up and feeding, but this is a two-way street. But you've not got to work on any of this until we reach the 19th of November. Lucky you guys. So let's have some of these. Oh, thanks, Penelope. Yeah, please put a like on the video because it helps to get me into the algorithm of unknowing. And it helps people to see the messages, share the messages, and it helps us to grow a better community. Well, not a better, but a stronger community. And then our ideas can spread and we can share the love. So let's see what's Motherpeace. Motherpeace cards are very odd to shuffle. They got a little mind of their own. A little mind of their own. Like there's a wind of change picking up. I feel like everything's going to blow away in a minute. Let me put the book on top of those. Right, the first two ones that fell are down the bottom. Yeah, you see, look, you've got temperance. Patience. It's almost talking about how you will find a new color to your emotions inside this eclipse tunnel. I want to say there's something about if you can find leaves, that's what this wind was. You need to listen to the rustling of the wind. She's wearing a grass skirt, and again, I'm hearing that kind of the sound of wind movement. You need to tune into the wind and listen to the messages that are just caught in the background of the rustling of leaves. And then you have the 10 of discs coming back out into the real world. This is the solar eclipse completion, that energy of the circle, bringing people together, birthing something new. But there's an energy here of being protected now from an ancestral past, from an energy that's been bothersome. They are all holding shields, and they're showing me that it's almost like this old energy that's been troublesome. It's like pulling it out and being protected from it. By removing it, you can hold it in front of you and the energy can no longer penetrate into your new frequency. And that's a really interesting energy to go through the eclipse season with. Look, Ariel's being so sweet. Yeah, send me tips, people. I'm very grateful. So my PayPal account is PayPal me at Rustling Around. So there's a healing frequency inside this tunnel. You've got the 4. So it's almost this rebuilding, this smashing down of all the boundaries, this changing frequency. It's like the sun is part of the key. The sun, the solstice frequency, it's like what's missing is they're showing me the fact that the lunar eclipse is about the shadow cast. The shadow cast at the beginning, which is this old ancestral energy, and you explore yourself. But what you're actually doing is you're completely realigning your spine. That's fascinating. Takes me a while sometimes. You're aligning your spine into the new air energy. There's going to be whispers on the leaves that will help you to understand this. So what's the last card? It's interesting. They're showing me this as the ancestral line being shed. Because this temple is your own celestial city, your own higher dimensional heaven that you have, and you're dropping off the old energies caught in the spine that are feeding through somehow into all of your other energy frequencies. This is incredibly powerful cleansing Jupiter energy coming in, because Jupiter is the energy wings, and Jupiter's an energy that comes in at the back and it goes down our body and it creates what you would see as angelic wings, and all of the other frequencies, all of these other energies, all of them coming into alignment will pass through when you come out after you've broken down your old version of your celestial heaven, because there's something about your celestial heaven is limited in its fluidity because you haven't been able to build your own heavenly space. You've built a heavenly space based on ancestral memory, even though you're not aware of it because it's been in your life. So it's, like I'm hearing someone taking a xylophone and going down a xylophone, running it down, and all of that energy just sliding right out of you and being gone, and then you're protected from it. So I'm just gonna, because we did look here, just gonna give these a shuffle. What is it that I'm looking for here? Tree of Life, Eight of Pentacles. This is key code. This is a key going into a slot and turning the frequency. Oh, thank you, Christina. Yeah, we are going to do another sound healing session. The thing is, I'm trying my microphone in a different socket because it had a crackle on it the other day. So I'm going to look back at this video and see if we've got that same crackling, because I think maybe it might be the socket I was using. So you're being given a key to unlock the energy of your spine and the cleansing of your spine. And then we have two others. Ooh, how beautiful. So this 6 at the beginning and the 3-6 of the middle world is coming as this, Jupiter is the bringer of joy. Jupiter is the expansive cleansing energy, and you're being given the 6 of Cups, fluidity of emotions, and then boom, people, manifesting at the end of this eclipse tunnel something incredibly magical. We have pentacles, we have cups, we have swords. I kind of want to say they're showing me very strongly the monkey down here. And there's a phrase which is that Rob uses, and I love it, which is not my circus, not my monkey. I'd never heard of it before, but I absolutely love it. And I do use it a lot. But that's what this energy is. This ancestral tale that's been bothersome. It's not your circus. It's not your monkey. It was theirs. And yes, you could go in and cleanse the ancestral line. But this isn't saying that. This is just saying, shed it. Shed it, because it's not your circus, not your monkey. Your ancestors left it there. And it's the fact that you've allowed it, not deliberately, it's come that way. But it's not, they're not saying it needs to be healed. What needs to be healed is your current truth. You align yourself to your truth. Break down this ancestral heaven and build anew. And then you will manifest a whole new energy frequency for next year. I like that. So, because so often, and I do it all the time, fix your ancestral line. That's not what they're saying here. They're saying the ancestral line was distorted. Ditch it. It's not your circus. It's not your monkey. There's a beautiful, soft, cooling cloud coming now. I feel like that's your ancestors just saying, phew, finally, you worked it out. Stop bothering with us. Just let us go. We've been hanging around here waiting for someone to notice that we left something, and it keeps infecting the next member of the ancestral, the descendancy line. And all someone needs to do is just go, I can't be bothered with all that. And then they're like, hooray! Someone's finally smashed the old paradigm. So that was a beautiful message I wasn't expecting. Yeah, it's really, I love it, Ariel, when something comes out that I've gabbled about forever and it goes, yeah, not always though, mate. Sometimes it's something completely different. And that's really nice because, again, that's breaking a paradigm. It's breaking a rule that you've stuck to. Not my dog food, not my dog. Might just be somebody else's vomit. Oh, dear. So, perhaps you picked number 3. So, let's get the timestamp. Oh, looky here. We're getting a bit long on these. 1:03:23. So, did you pick cloud number 3? So, we need to put the cards all out the way. Let's pop those down there. I feel like the kids are playing Demons and Monsters out there, but I really don't know. So, did you pick number 3? So, we're going to look for your planets. What I'm seeing is, as I look up at the cloud, there's a very big cloud, but it's very soft grey underneath, silvery, gentle energy. But above that cloud is brightness of the sun, and there are radiant beams like a kind of Art Deco sun drawing poking out. So you're dealing with the moon, and you're dealing with, this is the 8th of November. So you're dealing with third eye, and you're dealing with Venus, the higher heart. So the moon will obviously, before the end of the year, move around every sign, because it does that every 28 days. Okay, so you're on a very, I want to say a roller coaster ride of emotions, but I don't think that's bad necessarily. So Venus starts right now at 11 degrees of Sagittarius. And then on the 19th of December, it will turn retrograde. Now, that's interesting because Chiron comes out of retrograde on the same day. So there's something about healing a love wound. But it feels as though as we approach that energy, you will feel a sense of confusion. This is like a cloud of unknowing that's swirling the energies up. First of all, it's like a series of personal misremembrances. That's the only way I can kind of say it. It's very difficult. I think the kids are watching in, and because they can hear me talking to nobody. I've scared them off. And so Venus will actually end at 23 degrees of no, hang on, I've said that to you all wrong. I've written really bad notes here. I'm gonna have to check that. It's moving. Okay, sorry, now I get it. So it's at 11 degrees of Sagittarius. On the 19th of December, it will be at 26 degrees of Capricorn, and it will go retrograde. So by the 1st, it will be on 23 degrees. I just scrawled really badly because there was a hummingbird earlier and it got me overexcited because it was in the garden. So it really is a little bit kind of like... So you're dealing with, from the 19th, you're kind of going to look back at something that almost no longer hurts you because it's the point at which Chiron comes out. So it's reassessing your heart. That's the energy, is you're reassessing your heart and how you love others. So the sun's come out, see? This is an energy of something very bright, emotional brightness. Ah. You see, it tugged my beard. There's a tug of love. So, this cloud, it looks like Ireland. Chickadee-da, 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 yow. I'm looking at the big sky. Never understood me. What was representing the moon? The moon, again, is representing the moon. My chair's sinking. The moon is representing the moon. The moon is talking about the cycles of the moon. There's a series of completions and new beginnings that's going to keep coming. And there's something about the relevance of where the moon is in your own birth chart. So just having a sip of water. That's twice now that the moon has represented the moon. It's like, what else do you want me to be? I'm just some esoteric veil. I'm not telling you anything else. You've got to work it out for yourself. So, has that hummingbird not returned to that flower yet? It would be so beautiful if it just vibrated in. Sacrifice, 44. 10:44. This is about transforming of the heart, transforming how your heart functions. There's an energy of I'm seeing butterflies. I'm seeing, it's almost like you've got to bind yourself in the silks, in the swelledness frequency of the past. You've got to wrap yourself up in all of those past loving energies that haven't necessarily worked out in the way that you wanted. And you need to just cocoon yourself into those frequencies and look at all of the hurts that you've experienced in the heart in relation to loving others. And you just need to let them, I mean, what they're showing me, it's like you need to eat them. You need to eat them, consume them, because they're nutrients. They're the way in which you move forwards. 44 is an ancestral waiting station, but I'm not quite sure why we're being given that. So let's go to the runes. Suddenly got very bright again, so I can't quite see what you're writing. Okay, so let's get these runes and let's see what the journey is. There's something about a stellium in Capricorn on the 1st of January. It begins before that. But I haven't checked into that. But there is a stellium in Capricorn coming, and that's very cardinal Earth. It's like a new start, and it's a new emotional start. So you have, on the 1st of January, the sun will be at 10 degrees of Capricorn, Mercury will be at 28 degrees, Venus will be at 23 degrees, and Pluto will be at 25. But Venus will be retrograde. So there's something about this redefining of life force, of the love of life, the love of life. It's like you will find a new energetic love to move forward. They're showing me this transformation not as the fourth dimension, but they're showing me it just as a waiting station. You've been waiting to break free into life, to live, to be thrilled and excited by life. That's the energy that's coming through. So number 3, what do we have? Oh, I'm going to put those ones back in, let the one that fell stay. Cunning. I learned to know cunning. You've got to keep your wits about you. And we have Ur. That's the freedom to live, the freedom to enjoy. It's an energy of, as I said, going into the chrysalis of the heart. That's really interesting. The chrysalis of the heart, the chrysalis of emotions, identifying what's in your emotions, looking at things that wounded you and realizing that they're so distant, they're so far down this silken thread as to actually be kind of like irrelevant. You know, it needs trimming, it needs leaving. Those energies are so far in the past, and yet you're pulling them, and they're showing me sort of like a whole series of heart wounds, and they're all on silken threads, and you're holding all of the threads, and because they're silk, it's almost making your hands bleed with pain. You don't need any of it. Put the strings down and move forwards, but you've got to have a sense of cunning. You've got to understand the moment when to do this. Yeah, I'm waiting to be excited by myself. So yeah, it's almost like the strings the strings attached to your heart. It's that energy that I've spoken about before that we leave in others, that often I always say you need to unhook it so that it's no longer attached to people. But what I'm seeing with these is these heart pains are so old that it's almost like if you went to the person and spoke to them, they would just kind of, I don't want to say they wouldn't even remember the moment that it happened. But what I mean is you're dragging something along on such an invisible thread, and yet it's hurting you and no one else. And that's what you're moving through. As you go into this, the 18th, 19th of December, you need to have some kind of ceremony to just cut the threads. I never say cut the threads. This is obviously a day where we're being taught that there are so many different methods that you can use that you need to think differently, think outside your box, take the box away, burn the box, and start afresh. This is this real energy of transformation. But it's wild ox, it's it's a very empowering, strong portal. And it's that which can't be tamed. Your heart should never be tamed, they're saying. Now that needs, there's too many cards there. That needs exploring. Your heart can never be tamed. Why are they saying that? So if you give your heart to another, you've tamed your heart. And that's what takes away your excitement for life. It's not that you never give your heart to somebody and share your emotions, but you mustn't allow your heart to be tamed. There should be something always wild, always unpredictable about your emotions. That's interesting because we talk all the time about getting on top of emotions. So I want to say the 8th, 4/4, the 8th of November is this lineup between Venus, the Moon, the Earth, and Ceres, the sacral. And that's a D major chord. It's a very balanced frequency. And then I think that that's when you will begin to know the direction towards this freedom. The Chiron coming out of retrograde and Venus going in. So Venus kind of, it's almost like Venus is singing the wounds to remove them. The little kid is a car now. Beep, beep. It's like Roadrunner. Meep, meep. So there we go. So you have os and you have candle. So os is Godmouth. Os is the frequency of cosmic source energy. And that is coming through the moon. It's almost like the moon is being shown as the frequency of unbinding, Wendhorn, to unbind you from the past. But you've got to allow that moon to do a couple of cycles. You've got to work. It's almost you need to look at the moon because it moves every 2 or 3 days. You need to know for the rest of this year where the moon is and what issues that might affect in your natal. So if you've got moon in Capricorn, know when the moon is in Capricorn and see what that energy there that feels like it betrayed you or hurt you or allowed you to give away your heart too easily. And then we have candle, phosphorus. This is the growing inner light. So the candle condor is the other way around, which is the cosmic energy that comes in. You've got the open cosmic moon frequency, the portal. It's another 4. Healing, healing, healing. And candle is so they're showing me snubbing out those old silken heartaches, snubbing them out and letting the smoke rise to cleanse. And then it's almost like from within the magic of the wound, there will be like a new flame, a phosphorus glow, which is your new heart frequency, free of your chironic wounds. So let's put some of these down. Yeah, it is about rising like a phoenix, but it's kind of like, it's like a sort of I guess it is the water phoenix because it is the heart, it is emotions. The moon is also water. Maybe it is the water phoenix. It may come here. I love the idea of a water phoenix. From the shells, the sand of the past rises a new energy. So we've got 2. Let's just start with those. Ooh, yeah, see, look. You've got the Cloud of Unknowing. It's almost, it's the Priestess of Cups. There's a new song. There's a deep energy. They're showing me the whale as they're emerging from the cocoon. So being this big emotional joy, big emotional pleasure, a new life force of self-loving coming out from behind the cloud. And the cloud is holding together so that it doesn't, this is not feeling like a personal tower moment. This is feeling like shoring everything up, moving into a better frequency. And you have in this the Shaman of Swords. And here you have a beautiful flower opening in the heart. And that was that energy of singing the joy of the incoming healed emotions that the moon is going to bring. But you have to work your way through those 2 cycles. But there's something about energy being so invigorating, being so uplifting. So that's the Shaman of Swords. And being shown a little eagle. It's like, and the eagle's at the top of the ladder, and it's just kind of looking back at you and saying, you know, come on, it's time to do this. It's time to follow me. So another couple of cards for this. Oh, now that's interesting. All of the cards are spread out, and it's like they're showing me life force spreading out because you're coming out of that energy. And this is the inner wounded shell. This is the candle that needs snubbing out. This is the frequency that needs to change. And you know how to open the door and step out, but I don't think you can properly step out until it's another 4. It's another 4. but I don't think you can step out. So you've now got 4444. This is such a healing frequency, but it's a heart healing. If you picked this, what's coming through the Cloud of Unknowing is a heart healing. But you've got to let go of those silken threads that connect you to old wounds. Okay, we'll take those two. We've got the 10 of discs coming through again. This is about moving into a new sunshine frequency in the world. What I'm seeing in this, though, is interesting. They're showing me all the people here with the shields as being all the people that you're letting go of. You're protected from the wounds that you felt they inflicted upon you because you've understood the shaman of truth. The truth is that the wounds were really created by you, allowing yourself to box your heart in, and how your heart needs to be free. You need that freedom. They're sort of reminding me to think about first love. First love, when every part of your body vibrated with joy. It doesn't matter if the first love turned out really awful and they hurt you more than anyone. That's not the point. Forget that part. You need to protect yourself from that energy and remember the frequency of the vibration that you celebrated within you. And then the Son of Wands is about regenerating, is celebrating, is dancing yourself dizzy with joy. It's about, there's something about a transformation from sort of, they're showing me like your body in two halves, and one half of your body is all a bit sort of scabbed and spotty and uncomfortable, and then the other half of your body is in this wonderful energetically painted zebra frequency, this opening of a new energetic space, and how it's about you being a shaman of your own soul and creating a new frequency to kind of, it's almost like you're refilling a huge well with your Venus love energy, and it's almost like just pouring all of that around everything. You know, like when they use water to bless things, it's almost like you need to cleanse and bless your life. Somehow you need to be able to celebrate all the things that you've done that have got you to this space now for this incredible heart healing. So let's just have, I feel like I want to know where the Ace of Cups is. So I'm gonna, since nothing fell out, I'm gonna look for the Ace of Cups, because that's very much the energy. Interesting that on the bottom is the Nine of Cups, but I need to look for the Ace in Patrick style. And we need to see what's either side of it. Here we go. Yeah. So this big old cup of love that you need to be pouring, splashing, just literally the freedom of your heart to love again. That's the energy that I'm getting. Get out of this old heart space, come into this new inspired heart space. And what was either side of it? The Seven of Wands, which is Mars in Leo. Bear in mind that Mars will be at 13 degrees of Sagittarius, so that's a very creative, mutable space, and this is coming into your own renewed fires, renewed passions. And then you have the Prince of Cups, and that's very much echoing this energy of this deep emotional spiritual cleansing dive to renew the emotions. That bird who was sitting on the top of the ladder is leading you down through this journey to free your heart. And that's why the hummingbird came earlier, because this is about, there is an energy of freeing the heart. Okay, so that was number 3. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4. Let's see what you're all chit-chatting about. Dance yourself dizzy. Da, da, dun, dun, dun. Oh dear, all those old 70s tunes. So, let's pop all of the cards back into their individual spaces. Let's put Venus and the Moon back. Oh, it's gone very dark suddenly now. We've got a whole change of mood coming for Cloud of Unknowing number 4. Oh, I'm glad, Dee. I'm glad that helped. Let's have a sip of water. Interesting. Crow sitting all on its own at the end. Just reminding you to take that frequency of 13 degrees of Mars in Sagittarius and make that part of your transformative energy. So, did you pick cloud number 4? So this is 1 hour 32:55. So, Cloud of Unknowing number 4. This is shaded. The energy's gone very... there's a clarity to this energy. It's almost like not being blinded. So, we're going to begin by looking at the planets ruling your journey through to the end of the year. So, can we please have 2 planets that will help Cloud of Unknowing number 4? Neptune. And on the top, Mercury again. D sharp and G sharp. Livers, kidneys, spleen, and throat. Neptune is the king of unknowing. Neptune is fog. So, Neptune is at 20 degrees at the moment of Pisces, retrograding, and it will go stationary direct on the 1st of December, and then it will still be on 20 degrees at the new year. So there's something about the unknowingness, changing direction, unveiling, unfolding, but not moving. There's something very static. And then you got Mercury, who's on this very fast trajectory. So Mercury begins at 10 degrees of Libra, do you know, they don't even live here. They live much further up the road. So 10 degrees Mercury retrograde coming out tomorrow, and then it will, on the 6th of November, it will move into Scorpio. On the 25th of November, it will move into Sagittarius. And then by the 1st, it will be at 28 degrees. Oh, sorry, on the 14th of December, it will move into Capricorn, and it will be at 28 degrees of Capricorn on the beginning of the year. So I'm being shown Mercury whipping around and almost racing to what it's as if Mercury's trying to push Neptune from behind, trying to coax Neptune to move, and Neptune just unveiling something and staying very static. So let's go with a card for these. They're just staring in, watching me do this. It'd be nice if they came in one day and maybe picked all the cards for you. That would be fun. So, interesting. So, I feel because we have Neptune, I'm going to give you Neptune's bell because Neptune's here. There's something very, very uncomfortably strong and resistant. There was a screaming dog, and we have Coyote. Neptune's putting in an energy of a divine detour. And then we have 58, which is 13. So we're going from 12 to 13. Mercury's almost blowing the clouds, the cobwebs. Mercury's doing the clearing out. It's tree of life energy. It's bringing a new frequency to you. So, now that's really interesting. There's a coolness coming across the communication. So there's something about the throat chakra kind of having a cool new frequency that comes in. I think the boys have just made the girl cry, which is a bit mean of them. Yeah, they have. But that feels a lot like this energy. It's like if you can't connect to this cool ability to communicate, there's something about it. You could almost weep. It's like you've seen this energy. You've seen this energy. You've seen this energy. You've seen it. You've heard it. And you could almost cry. But Mercury's coming in with a cool communicator, a softening of the darker energies. So, I have to say that what I would say about Mexico chakra meditation is that there is a real sense that people, for all the things that we say, people live in a sense of poverty here. There's an energy of enjoying life that you run into all the time. So there's a cool energy forming around. There's like a sort of it's like calming of the heat. This energy, and it is that it keeps coming and burning and hurting. There's something about the tree itself stepping on the fire and bringing coolness to the heat. And it's weird because Neptune is not fire. Neptune's water. But it's almost like steaming hot emotions that need somehow to be reduced. So what do we have? We have the lagoon, the cosmic ocean, Neptune's world, and we've got 2112. This is a complete turnaround frequency. And that's that moment when on the 1st of December, so yours is linking in to the 1st of December, something, and that's again in the middle of the eclipse tunnel. So there's something coming in to change around everything, to reflect a new energy towards you. You've got Witchcraft, and this really is it's sorcery, it's the elder frequency, but it's almost like taking the staticness of the cosmic ocean, the fog, and then the energy, look, this bounding, twisting leg energy just coming in to create ripples all across the surface. So it's almost like a sense of being stuck, being not waving but drowning, and no one notices that. And then suddenly the waving that you're creating will sort of begin to create ripples that will part the confusion to bring this energetic clarity that comes in. And then you've got oak, support. You're being supported by the energy of the cosmos, by trees, by the natural world. I want to almost say willow trees, water trees. It's the alder. The alder. There's something deep under the water. So alder is the wood that grows in swampy places, and when you cut down alder, it's used as you sink it into the ground, and it's used as supports for piers and other things, bridges across water, so emotional bridges. But when you pull the alder log out, when it goes back into the air, it just collapses, it breaks up. So I know it says oak, but it's coming across as the energy of Yggdrasil working as an alder, an emotion, an energy. Look, this is almost like a stick. You need to take the handle and pull that energy. It's like phlegmatic. It's like it's almost tar in the lungs. It's this kind of energy of, it's one of the humors that just needs to be, really pulled out. Oh yeah, actually, yes, you're completely right, Patrick. He is called Alder, and I've never made that connection. It's in the Earthsea series. If you haven't watched Earthsea, if you haven't read or listened to the audiobooks, Earthsea is an absolutely beautiful series about witchcraft and the world in which we live in. But yeah, the guy is called Alder. There's something clogging that's a Neptunian blockage that you will pull out. You will begin to part the waves on, and this is coming on the 1st of December. And then you've got Knarfa, and Knarfa is about a rite of passage. So if you pull out this lagoon cosmic ocean blockage, this, and create this mirror to the static to create the fluidity, that you'll see that this will create space when it comes to the surface. It's a bit like the dragonfly head. It becomes a Ginunga gap. It becomes an endless possibility to become something new. But it's for you, if you've picked 4, your unknowing is coming to you. This leaf unfurling of your energy comes on the 1st of December. So let's ask Odin to slip him. There's something very cooling. I feel, again, I want to say that you had this burning, steaming, emotional sore. And it's going to be cleansed, cooled. Oh, look. It's the fog that parts. Niflheimr. Neptune's fog is lifting. How? I know it's Mercury, but how is Mercury lifting this fog? How is... Yeah, sorry. Yeah. It's Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. Patrick will write it. So... how is Mercury doing it? It's a moon cycle. It's a sacrifice. I need another one. The fog is clearing. We've got Ragnarok. We've got Fenrir. It's a connection to a... It's the dog energy again, the wolf energy, the coyote energy. Ah, okay. I'm getting there now. It's to do with your animal spirit. It's like when you pull this dark alder out from the water, it transforms. It is your animal spirit that's just been swamped. It's been bound up. Fet is something of value, and it's coming across now. It's coming across now as being bound up. Oh, because Fenrir was bound up and buried in the earth. Your spirit animal is being hidden from you by Neptune because it needed to wait. It's about divine timing, but you need to seek the connection to become one with your animal spirit. Fenrir was tricked with these very invisible bands, and he had to keep showing how strong he was to break out of all different irons. And Tyr loved him. So Tyr is kind of the relationship of us as a being and our animal guide. And they take the animal Fenrir and they chain him with these magical bonds and they bury him deep into the earth until the point of Ragnarok, the point at which it's almost a point at which you break away from the confines of 12 structure, the confines of the normal world, and the mirror, that energy of the cosmic ocean, flows back through every part of your body. It's like all your roots are re-watered as you connect with your animal spirit, because it's been locked in. It's not the free running energy. I just want another one of those because that's a really, it just needs... There it goes on the floor. Is Rob here? Mr. Odinson. Oh, it's renewing the growth of your Yggdrasil tree. Your connection to your animal spirit will redefine your Yggdrasil growth. The cosmic oceans. Take that peg out and free your animal spirit. Oh, they went right between my legs, right down to the roots. So I'm being blinded again by the light now. We have the Three of Swords, the celebration of successful editing, the celebration of cutting free your spirit animal. Cutting free. You will successfully free your animal so that it's like your Yggdrasil is not growing properly because it needs the Yggdrasil of your animal. They are one. You are one. And you need to bring those two energies together to grow properly. And it's a celebration of the editing to freedom, the clearing of the fog. And then what do we have? So we have the Daughter of Swords. This is the Cloud of Unknowing delivering your spirit animal to you. You know, it's not these down here corralled in. It's an energy of an animal spirit that's been hidden in the cloud, hidden in Neptune's fog that couldn't reach you. And then we have Crone and Empress. It's like, that's really interesting. Empress is kind of like the second stage of woman, the fertility part, and the crone is the elder part. There's something about your animal spirit when it comes to free you from the bonds, this blood sacrifice, and there is a sacrifice, but it's not blood as such. It's more a story that courses through your blood, which is the separation between you and spirit, your animal spirit. And when you bring the two together, it's like your animal spirit invigorates your child. It's like that disconnect that we all go through when we're much more connected to spirit and animals, and we have imaginary friends and all of those frequencies, and we're told to stop them. It's reconnecting with that, because that's what made our inner child light so perfect. So, so look, Queen of Swords. It's again that frequency of cutting, changing, freeing, you know, allowing the connection to your animal spirit. And it's Queen of Cups. So these are 13 frequencies again. So we had the bound creature, your tree of life stepping towards it, freeing its tree of life. It's 13 frequency. It's the freedom 13. Queens are 13s. And then you have 1 and 10. 1 and 10. So manifesting the energy of pure emotion, innocent emotion, childlike emotion. And it's a cosmic gift. And 1 and 10 for me is a magical number of manifestation frequency, because you're manifesting the movement of your wheel of fortune onwards. And that will deliver the cosmic gift. The cosmic gift is the unity of you and your soul animal. The reunification of you. So that Was number 4, cloud number 4. So we still got another 2 to do. I thought these were all just going to be 15 minutes each. Never think you know what the cards want to say, because you just don't know what Spirit wants to put through. So we'll just pop all these cards back. You can all be chatting among yourselves. Have a little look at what you're saying. Oh, I'm glad it's enchanting. I love the stories that are being brought to me now that I'm up this mountain in this Cloud of Unknowing. It's directing just the messages into a direction that I have no knowing of. It's just that the clouds deliver the knowingness. And that was lovely. There's a lot about these animal spirits at the moment. So let's pop these Raw Runes back in. Don't forget the Raw Rune decks. There's a link to them in the description box. And there's 2 different PDFs. You can download them with the images already on, or you can download blank ones and you can draw the images yourself, which helps to set them in your muscular and cellular memory as to what kind of energy frequency they have. So let's get the timestamp. So did you pick cloud number 5 at 1 hour 55:35? 1 hour 55:35. Did you pick Cloud of Unknowing number 5? There's something very side on, like bringing you into the now with this one. The energy of the sun right now is quite taking my eyes out. I hope that's my hummingbird coming back that I saw earlier. I really wanted to just go and vibrate for you all, because I saw a hummingbird. So, cloud number 5. I think by the time I get to 6, we're just going to be in a deep shadow because the sun's so low in the sky now. Don't know what the time is. Oh, it might look like it's 10 to 5. Might have to move if it gets too much. So what are the planetary bodies that you're working with until the end of the year? Oh, Saturn. And on the top of the deck, Chiron. So it's perfect 4th. There's something very even about this. It's very much about the natural world. Let me tell you about them. Saturn is obviously at 6 degrees of Aquarius, having just come out of retrograde. And it will move forwards to be at 11 degrees of Aries by the time of the 1st of January 2022. Now, Chiron is actually at the moment at 10 degrees of Aries, and on the 19th, it will come out of retrograde, and it will be at 8 degrees of Aries on the 1st. So it's going backwards, and then it will start to come forwards. So this is lower heart. Transforming. I'm sensing with this like a trepidation around the natural world, a fear of creepy crawlies. That's interesting. So let's get a mystical shaman for each of the 2 planets. Ooh, that sunshine's really getting in my eyes. So Saturn and Chiron. It's a nervousness around the natural world, a discomfort about being in the natural world. That's Saturn. Just waiting for a card for Chiron. There we go. So Saturn, Divine 9, see the world. Seer the world. There's still an energy in this card of trying to disguise yourself from the natural world, hiding from the natural world. And Chiron 3. So you've got 9 and 3. This is the arrow. So there's something to do with I feel like the 19th of December is quite important to this. There's something about you've got to work now on this natural world wound. Interesting. So look, we're moving in to find out what the story is, and the sun's dimming. So we're heading behind a cloud. The cloud of unknowing. I almost feel like even as you're listening to me give you this conversation, telling you something about your unnatural relationship with the natural world, you're almost summoning a cloud of unknowing because you don't want to know. You don't want to know the natural world. It feels like you're the kind of person who just likes to be indoors. And indoors, if any kind of animal enters your personal space, it creates a fury within you. So you're born on the 21st of December. Well, that was a magical day. Last year especially, because it was the December solstice and it was the Great Mutation. So that's really interesting. This card's turned upside down and stayed in the deck. It's shadows. It's something about you fear the shadows of the natural world. It's like if you were out somewhere like this where the sun's dropping. I almost want to say you don't like to be out in the world in the dark. Can we have some more information, please? Right, now that was it was kind of something that expanded over my lower heart chakra. And it looks like it's come in 2 parts. So you have Ophalagu and you have Tia, to smelt. So it's a cloak or a mantle. So to me, this is not a normal Ophalagu. This is coming across as an overmantle is something that you put over the top of you to keep you safe. But there's something about this energy that's literally buildings. It's literally hiding away from the natural world. You just don't want to engage. It's giving me this energy of a nervousness. And tear is to smelt. But there's something about this. Yeah, some animals do hunt in darkness, but they're not hunting you. There's something about this that's not smelting. Like this seer is static. This seer is stuck. This seer is hiding in the shadows. It's almost, yeah, it is a bit overprotecting of yourself, but it's like you've become the hunter of nature to extinguish nature. I don't mean to go around killing it. I just mean you have such a rigid fear of nature, and you look, it is this, that you're on the alert that a bug or a cockroach or a spider or a mouse, anything that might come into your space, that puts you on edge. And then we have horse and elks, 19 and elks 15. This is move and protection. Oh, okay. You're using overprotected. You were exactly right, Eve. This is about overprotection. This is a fear, like an agoraphobia. This is like agoraphobia. There's a fear of open spaces. There's a fear of not having control of something. You are literally the immovable horse. You're going outside. The only way for you to move outside is to incant a load of protections on you, and it's blocking your energy frequency. So let's get Odin on this. So it's like suddenly the sunlight's gone off and there's absolute color clarity to the garden. Yes, it's dark. It's got a little bit of wind movement. It's kind of lost all that, the kids' playfulness noise. It's something, I can feel your anxiety. So William Vey. Now, William Vey always come forwards as giving back the earth, but actually what they're doing here, it's like you've thrown the ball of earth to them and you're going, I don't want that. You can hang on to that. Whoa, it's making me uncomfortable. It's that kind of thing. So the cloak. Oh, you see, look. What I'm being shown here is Ing is the water meadow. Ing is to flow with fluidity. Ing is to have been scented and have all the perfect flowers in your sacral to be given some wonderful mantle. But there you are, calling on this protection, whether it's angels, gods, spirit guides, whatever it is, you're blocking yourself in. And this arrow is now being shown as time to pop the protection. Time to pop the protection. Yeah, crowds are very difficult. But do you know, my way, because I'm always picking up the energy of crowds, is to actually approach the whole notion of going into a crowd as a narrative where you define the story of your place. So you invent a space where, if you're telling yourself a narrative of your journey in the world, it means that the people around you, you're not allowing their energies to bleed in by looking at them and seeing them. Yeah, I see the people, and I think in my narrative they don't see me, or it's telling yourself a narrative of safety when you're out in a crowd. Don't allow the anxiety of it to rattle your nerves. I know that sounds easy, but it's something you have to practice. So, harvest, Jira. So, it's interesting. It's coming across as this water meadow, this Ginunga gap, this realm of protection. You need to open it. You need to allow energy to flow through. At the moment, the energy can't get in, and you're in this hermetically sealed spiritual space that's not allowing new life to flow through. So let's get some Motherpeace cards. I know it's a message that's come out before, but it's obviously in this Cloud of Unknowing, it's this need to let down your walls of protection and live. You're not living. If you're in fear of absorbing other people's energy, you will absorb it and you won't go out as much. If you go out with the narrative that it's your space and your life and you're the light in that moment, that doesn't allow the other people's energies into you. But you mustn't have those moments of fear. You've got to embrace the world around you and live in it. It's interesting, these cards usually jump immediately. And they were really, like, again, you don't want to hear the message to free you from this. The Three of Swords, again, this is a celebration of achieving power over something that held you back. And it's really dancing with joy. I mean, one of them's, she's licking the sword because it's a sense of joyous pride. And look, this is the weirdest card, but the treasure in your soul is the Son of Swords. You know, this is the Page of Swords. This is to walk naked. But you're not naked. You're still wearing an overlegu, an ophalegu, a cloak. He has the cloak. It's kind of interesting. It's like saying you feel exposed. Every time you're outside, you feel naked. You want to wring the neck of everything, and all the roses are scattered behind. But actually, behind is this treasure chest that's overfull. It's how you witness your power. You can either see it as being naked, being absorbed, being frightened, not wanting to go out, everything's scary, everything's dangerous. Or you can say, I walk proudly telling my own story, and the world around you dissolves somehow. It's the energy of it doesn't keep coming at you in a form of aggression that you need to wring its neck. You just walk. There's two feathers on the head, which is about that connection with spirit. And then we have some more cards over here. It's more swords. This is all about editing your thought patterns. We now have the Five of Swords. This is the energy of being protected by your thoughts and not by an external source. He walks naked, but he is protected because he trusts himself. There's this pentacle energy that is like personal magic, not calling in elks, but personal magic. I'd love to know what this sound is that's trying to break in, but the point is, it's just like this message. It's irrelevant to your truth. I can't understand it because it's distorted and it's a language I don't fully understand. I'm in my own personal protected energy frequency. I'm in the natural world. I'm enjoying the comfort of the day. And where's it leading you to? Pure love energy, your heart coming back online. Almost, and it is again, there's something about the pleasure of being naked emotionally. Because you fear all the emotions in the real world. You fear the energy of people, the energy of plants, the energy of dark spaces outside. There's something that's kind of stopping you from living. And there's something about exploring the world in a raw joy that will connect you to yourself and to the natural world. So let's just get a couple of these. Do you see, this is an exact example of intrusion that you can choose to ignore. In fact, I'm quite enjoying dancing to it. So, more sword energy, Knight of Swords, which is the King of Swords. So, Knight of Swords, King of Swords in this deck. Fly above, edit above. There's a whole series of swifts here. It's like, it's your horse. When you take off the elk's protection, you will find that the whole world energetically flows around you. You're on the horse and now you're moving. You weren't moving before. You were stuck. You were static. And then we have this Four of Wands. I'm sorry. It's almost like Mexican kawaii. There's something really... There's a completion. You have to complete... they're showing me this as Wendhorn. You have to unbind the protection. You have to... It's the propellers, the editing suite. Complete your freedom in the world. And on here we have rams and we have swifts again. You've almost got to butt yourself into the real world as a celebration, and it all becomes a total new beginning for you. So that's the energy frequency of Cloud of Unknowing number 5. See, and then look, it's just faded away at the end of your reading. Probably start up again now that I've said that. They when they come around doing door-to-door sales, they have these little tracks and they stop outside all of the houses. So there was a lovely fruit and veg man that came the other day and he was selling aguacate and batatas, and he just pulls up outside and you buy what you want from the back of his van. It's all terribly civilized. I know, it's weird because the ice cream van is the only one in Britain that really still has a tune. Here, the man that does the gas, he has a chain on the back of his vehicle and it has a series of little rings on it and they roll over the ground and they make a sound that sounds like Santa Claus. And I always think Santa Claus with a very gassy belly. When I was a child, the only one that did used to come around was the Rag and Bone Man. Yes, remember to hydrate. I will have a little sip. Thank you. Because I've been here quite a long time. I was like, I'll just do 6 things because otherwise I'll be here for 3 hours. I still can't work out what he's selling. Must be popular though, because it stopped. So, did you pick cloud number 6 at 2020, 30, or 2 hours 20? So, 6, Cloud of Unknowing number 6. Let's get in there, people. Right. Cloud of Unknowing number 6, number 6, number 6. This is the cloud of darkness. This is the cloud of a sunset. So, oh, look, Saturn again. Saturn with Mercury. See, this is the complete reverse of the last one. This is the truth of nature. This is the truth of a connection. So, Saturn is at 6 degrees of Aquarius, and it will be at 11 degrees of Aquarius on the 1st of January 2022. Now, Mercury is the complicated one because it's moving very, very fast. So Mercury's currently retrograde, will be coming out tomorrow with Jupiter, 10 degrees of Libra. I can't read, it's too far away. On the 6th of November, Mercury will move into Scorpio. Then on the 25th of November, it will move into Sagittarius. On the 14th of December, it will move into Capricorn, and it will be at 28 degrees of Capricorn at the beginning of the year. So this is something about, there's something moving very fast, bringing the natural world closer to you, bringing the truth of spirits, natural world spirits, it's fairy folk. So, sprites and tree elves and pixies and all that kind of stuff. So, can we please have a card for each of them? A card for each of them. Okay, so for Saturn, way luminous warrior frequency. And oh, yes, see what's come through the veil is all magical sprites. But they're you as well, because the luminous warrior, 32, 33. So 3233, it's this natural progression. There's a kind of transformation of vision. So what's happening is the veil, Mercury's stripping the veil off, and it's almost like with each layer, the transformation will begin on the 6th of November, and then it will mutate on the 25th of November. So that first period, and that will take you into the eclipse season. And then by the 14th, it will become more visible. It's like sprites and spirits behind the natural world will come into sharper focus. If you picked, that's the unknowing that you're getting here. Yeah, Mercury is peeling the apple. Leaf, become. So I want to say become more fae, more natural, more spirit, more pixie, more. You need to tune in. You need to transform yourself to be more. It's like to be more open with your personal Yggdrasil tree, to allow the energy of animism, of creature, of sprite, of pixie, of elf, all of those frequencies. You need to become more like them for them to be able to sit in your personal Yggdrasil tree, to appear in the spaces around you. So then what happens when Mercury is moved into Sagittarius? 2. It's interesting. It's a transformation. You've got Nate, and this is coming across as not night, but the darkness, the veil. The mutation will be, it's like when you hold up a piece of black netting. When you hold it back, you can't see anything. When you bring it near, you can begin to see through the veil. So from the 25th of November, there's something about the night veil becoming more alive, and we've got Gatan, and this is to shred something, and it's almost the veil of unseeing, the veil of unknowing is being shred throughout that period as you move through the eclipse tunnel. So from the 25th, so the eclipse starts on the 19th with the lunar eclipse, and it's like the night, the shadow, the moon going into shadow will be what begins to shred the veil of unseeing, the veil of unknowing around the world of magic that exists all around you, the truth of the magic that's all around you. So then 14th of December, it's the journey home. It's Hemfereld. You are returning to spaces you've previously inhabited. You've been elf. You've been pixie. You've lived lives on the other side of that veil. And this time, you're a luminous warrior. You're transforming into an agent of magic through this veil. You're connecting to green man energy. You're connecting to the natural world. And then by the end of the year, I don't know what they are yet. I can't see them, but they skipped out, and I did see one. Kusma. So the moon that goes dark is bringing not so much a deflection, but it's bringing an awareness of the veil. It's like looking at a tree and suddenly seeing the veiled net around that can then be shredded. It's revealing the truth of the hidden world. And then you have Uck. So this is the support of the natural world. Your personal Yggdrasil tree becoming an open space for the world of magic to roost in your Yggdrasil tree. So it finishes with static 12th. And this is really interesting because it's talking about it as being this, you being a bridge between the two worlds. It's very, and then a complete change of frequency went across my entire head. There's a lot of cards on this. There's a lot of energy coming in. to reveal what's hidden behind the veil that's kind of fey magic, pixie magic, that's your old home. You need to be the bridge. You agreed to come through the veil to help pull the magic back through the veil. So let's have an Odin and the 9 realms. It was your original birthright. Your original birthright is the realm of magic. It's a veg man. He's got avocados and apples. He's selling avocados, but I bought loads the other day. Oh my goodness. And the avocados are so good. The avocados here are magical. So, I said magical. And Vulva, the magical shamaness. Your birthright is the magic. You are magic. That's the whole point of this. You've come through from your last incarnation in the realm of magic to pull the magic back into this realm. And that's what you're working on as this year ends. Seeing through the veil back into the world that you're from. Dej, a new beginning in the world of magic. And Hagal, this is fascinating because there's something about trickster frequency, like a little Loki demonic naughtiness. It's Hayoka empath. It's prodding at people to make them aware of the magic as well. So he's got a little white van. He's a different man. He's got like a camper van. So yeah, there's something a little bit cheekster about you. There's a impish. When this energy comes through, you're going to start to feel a lot more cheeky and impish. That's interesting. Okay, so what do we have? First one out. This is through the veil. This is seeing inside spaces, inner spaces. It's like the magic has pegged out the shape. It's created a space for you to see inside of what's illuminated behind the physical, the realm that we usually look at. Yeah, you are already impish. So this is about seeing behind the veil, witnessing what's on the other side of the needle. And it is like a needle hole. It's like peeping through, but you're gutting it, you're shredding it, you're making more space for it. This is Crone, but they're showing me this as an ancient energy of moon and star healing pouring down the mountain. This is behind that veil. This is the world of the ancient magical folks. It's not coming across as Crone. You know, it is hermit mode. But there's something about this little figure here that's you, the imp, popping through. And suddenly you're opening up a whole new realm of directions that are available. There's an Ouroboros snake here that's kind of being birthed from under the past. It's like there's a connection to the path that had passed that hasn't been completed to birth, but as you move through to the 1st of January, you will feel more and more the strength and the connection of this magic. You see, this is an interesting, the 5 of Cups card, because I always see this as a whole series of starfish. But this is, I love those bells. Can you hear the bells? I need to add one. Oh, it's like a magical dogs and bells. That's gorgeous. That's what this is. It's like a cacophony of clanging. Behind the veil, there's a whole other frequency around. And then it stopped. That was beautiful. I love that. So, yeah, to go back to this, it's about the regeneration of emotions, but there's something about this. It's changing emotions. There's something about like I'm seeing rosettes being that's becoming a rosette now as well. It's like being awarded vision, magic, getting like a little pin badge that says you've become, I'm going to use the word mage, but you've become connected. They are jellyfish, but they're also starfish. They're a very confusing frequency. If you look very closely, they've got little stars on them. But there's also something a little bit octopus about them. There's something about feeling deep inside the emotions that are hidden just through the dimension. And being playful. There's something, again, impish and playful about this frequency. It's the most magical, impishly magical. The first reading was the one that was kind of dimension hopping, but this is impishly magical. Queen of Wands, Queen of Fire. She's the energy of holding back. She's holding back. It's usually, I see this as the energy of the magician. It's like, yeah. She's showing how you're moving, you're connecting to spirit, you're connecting to the magic, you're connecting to the vulva, you're connecting to your ancient past, your home, but you're not ready yet to release the magic. First, it's about seeing the magic, adjusting to the magic, adjusting your perception through this cloud of unknowing. And then it ends with the 2 of Cups. Oh, I'm wearing the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups. It's Venus in Cancer, but it's about being home. It's about your heart being home, being a bridge, being that space between the two. The journey home to your magical soul. And then Valor, that's again this being given a badge of honor, wearing a rosette saying, I've been through the veil and I know it's home, and I'm now connecting to the magic. I don't feel like you're... I do feel like it's about seeing and accepting and adjusting before you get given a frequency to actually create more magic. So I'm just going to end with giving you one more magical card from here. Okay, one more magical card for the fairy folk. Oi! You will see through the light, through the space, through the fire. You will see the truth of what's behind the veil. So in the cloud of unknowing for you is the eye to see through to the fairy dimensions. So that's it. So I can see the screen and everything now. And for any late joiners, I'm just going to say, before I started this reading, I saw my hummingbird. It popped into the garden in this tree here. It didn't really hover so much. It flew with gentle grace, but it's my hummingbird. So I knew that the energies now are switching and changing, which is gorgeous. Thank you, people. I am really enjoying myself up this mountain, communicating with you. We have a good connection. I don't know whether it's had crackly mic this time, but the last sound healing had a lot of crackles on it. Trying a different socket for my microphone. And just before I go, just to remind you that if you can afford to tip me, it helps me to eat food when the little veg man comes round. And it's PayPal me rustling around. Because we do have to sing for our supper. Sing for your supper and you'll get breakfast. Songbirds always try, or something. Can't remember. Mamas and papas, or maybe it's Mama Cass. Yeah, Andy helped me to buy a poncho because I still haven't done that. I can probably afford to buy the poncho, but it needs to be a perfect poncho. It really does. Also, I'm hoping to attend a course with a Mayan shamanic woman. And so it would be helpful if anyone can send some money, because obviously I have to pay her to attend that 6-day course. And it would end on the 31st of October. And then it would be the Day of the Dead the next day. And I feel like I do a lot of healing. I spend a lot of time healing. And I feel it would be really nice for me to go and have a little 6-day course with someone who gives me some energy so that I can heal. Because I've still, I've got a lot of stuff like grief to release, and Day of the Dead, I think, going to really feel my parents being around me. So it will be nice if you can help, but don't worry if you can't, because it's nice to be able to keep all the readings freely accessible. I want my hummingbird to come back. Sit on my finger. Fly down on my finger. It's not happening. It's not happening. There's no hummingbird on my finger. So we will do another sound healing, because I really enjoyed the alternative sound healing, and we'll tune into people and we'll find another story. So did you get your writing done, Penelope? Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I think the bird is camera shy, unlike me. But I think that we need the bird to be somewhere. I need to go somewhere out in the woods with lots of flowers at kind of head height so that it can float behind me. So there's a new tune coming in. I'm going to go off and make myself some delicious food from the veg man that came round here. I've got lots of spinach, which I thought would be quite nice, and some potatoes. Oh, I have to say their potatoes here are gorgeous. They're like fresh out the ground. They've still got wet mud on them, and they're solid, really fresh, as are the avocados. I had watermelon and lime juice drink the other day. So it's good for fresh veggies. So, wassail, everybody. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for enjoying it and encouraging me. There's 68. Well, it went 67 just as I said that. But 68, that's the year I was born. So, don't forget to press like. It helps to get me into the algorithm so that more people can watch. So, wassail, beautiful people.